Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar. Today, we are presenting webinar on organ donation, the gift of life, which has been organized by Applied Science and Humanities Department of Parul Polytechnic Institute, Parul University. Organ donation is a procedure in which a health organ is taken from an individual who is either living or deceased and is transplanted into a person whose respective organ is malfunctioning. Donated organs give the recipient the opportunity of a longer and better quality of life. A single organ donor can save up to 8 lives. So the main agenda of this webinar is to provide the awareness regarding organ donation. I, Vaishali Nathwani, would like to introduce today's guest speaker, Mrs. Bhavna Chaparia. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Shatayu. She has been relentlessly working for the cause of organ donation awareness since past 10 years with the company. Her passion for the cause has led her to take the onus upon herself to increase the rate of organ donation by educating and motivating people, in turn saving lives. It's a privilege to welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My
Yes,
name
good
is
morning.
Bhavna Chabria. Today, I'm going to talk about organ donation. I would like to thank Parul University for this wonderful opportunity. I represent Shatayu. Shatayu works for the cause of organ donation. Today, I'm going to tell you what is organ donation, which all organs can be donated, who can donate these organs, and what is the entire procedure of organ donation. I'll be giving a short presentation through which I'll be explaining this procedure. Before the presentation, I would like to show you a short movie, post which I'll be sharing the details. So, without further ado, let's start the movie.
सूरज की किरणें झलमल झलमल लागू हुई है हलचल हलचल सूरज की किरणें झलमल जागो हुई है हलचल इंद्रधनुष के टुकड़े लाकर खोलो उनको रंग बनाकर धरती का हर कोना कोना अब तो अपने मन का होना नाम न हो अब रंग ही पूछे लाल हो दाढ़ी तो हरी हो मुझे धूम धड़ाका हो छप्पर हो कोई न छूटे हर रंग इधर हो धूम धड़ाका छप्पर छप्पर हो कोई न छूटे हर रंग इधर हो छोटा बड़ा काला सफेद ऐसे रंग दो के रहे न भे छोटा बड़ा काला सफेद ऐसे रंग दो के रहे न भे खुशबू का कोई रंग बता दो हवा के पंख में बांधो उड़ा दो खुशबू का कोई रंग बता दो हवा के पंख में बांधो उड़ा दो धूम धड़ाका छपर छपर तो रंग ही नहीं छूट रहा है
वार्डन काका, रंग कितने रंग के होते हैं?
लाल, नीला, पीला, हरा।
हरा कैसा होता है?
अब कैसे बताऊं तुझे? इस फिल्म को देखने के बाद अनेकों लोगों ने नेत्रदान करने का निश्चय किया है। अगर आप भी नेत्रदान करना चाहते हैं तो लॉग ऑन कीजिए।
So, as we all saw, the movie was about eye donation. I'm sure you all must have heard about eye donation. When a person after their deaths donates their eyes and gives the gift of sight to two people, it is called eye donation. A lot of awareness has also been made by the government. A lot of efforts have also been made by the government to spread awareness about this cause. But still, a lot of people are not aware about organ donation. They do not know which all organs can be donated or in which situation they can be donated. So with that, I'll start my presentation. I would like to give you a brief about my organization, Shatayu, the Gift of Life. Shatayu is derived from the age-old blessing from the Indian scriptures, Shatayu Bhava, which means live until you are 100. We may not be able to live 100 years, but if we decide to donate our organs and tissues, we can live 100 years and even more through others. Shatayu is a non-profit organization which is a public service initiative by Govindbhai C. Patel Foundation, and it is supported by Ganesh Housing Corporation Limited. Our founder, Mr. Deepak Patel, had undergone a heart transplant in 2004. Since he got a second chance at life because of his transplant, he has dedicated this second life for creating more awareness about this cause. Shatayu was evolved with twofold objectives of increasing awareness about organ donation in India and broadening the mindset of people towards the gift of life. So we not only create awareness and educate people about organ donation, but also facilitate the process of organ donation. A few facts about organ donation that I would like to highlight today. India has the lowest rate of organ donation in the world at 0.26 per million population. The highest rate is that of Spain at 35 per million population. So in Spain, for every 10 lakh people, there are 35 people who are actually donating organs. While in India, for every 10 lakh people, there's not even one person who's donating their organs. So you can see that the rate of organ donation in India is dismally low as compared to other countries. We are lagging far behind as far as organ donation is concerned as compared to other developed countries. 15 people die each day due to shortage of transplantable organs. Every day, 15 people are losing their lives because not enough transplantable organs are available. Not enough people are coming forward to donate their organs. Every 18 minutes, a new name is added to the transplant waiting list. When a person needs a transplant, he or she has to get his name registered in the waiting list of a transplant hospital. So somewhere, every 18 minutes, a new name is added to this waiting list. So you can imagine how many people are actually awaiting a transplant. There are lakhs and lakhs of people who need a transplant till this date. Now, people on the wait list awaiting transplants, we have to wait for a period ranging from 6 months to 4 years. Imagine living with failed organs for 4 long years. A person on dialysis may still survive for that long. But what if a person needs a heart or a liver? They may lose their lives waiting for an organ. A single donor can save as many as 9 lives. We have the power to give a new lease of life to 9 other people by just making one decision of donating our organs. This is a rough picture of need versus availability of organ donors in India annually. We need around 2 lakh kidneys per year, but the availability of donors is just 5,000. Around 1 lakh livers are needed, but only 708 are donated. 50,000 hearts are needed per year, but the availability is just 339. And around 1 lakh corneas are needed, but the availability of donors is just 25,000. As you can see, there is a huge gap between the demand and supply of organs. The demand is much more and the availability is very, very less. This is the current situation of organ donation in our country. So, what is organ donation? Organ donation is the harvesting of an individual's organs after he or she dies for the purpose of transplanting them into another person. The person who gives the organ is called a donor, while the person who receives the organ is called a recipient. There are various organs and tissues in our body which can be used for donation. Organs such as heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, intestine, pancreas, and tissues such as corneas, veins, heart valves, bones, tendons, skin, ligaments, etc. If a person decides to donate their organs, they can save as many as 9 lives. And if the person decides to donate their tissues as well, they can save as many as 50 lives. So we can give a new life to 50 other people, that too after our death, by donating our organs and tissues. We talk about recycling these days. Organ donation is the best form of recycling. We not only recycle our organs, but also save lives in turn. A lot of medical advancements are taking place in the field of transplantation, due to which the list of organs that can be transplanted is increasing. For instance, in India, we have had 3 successful double hand transplants. So hands can also be transplanted now. And in foreign countries, full face transplant is also being carried out. So hands and face can also be transplanted now. Types of donation. There are 2 types of donation, living donation and cadaver donation. I'm sure you all must have heard about a mother donating a kidney to her son or daughter, or a husband donating a kidney to his wife. That is living donation. When a living person decides to donate one of their organs to save somebody's life, that is called living donation. Now we have 2 kidneys in our body and we can survive on 1 kidney. Therefore, one of the kidneys can be donated when a person is alive. A part of liver can also be donated when a person is alive because liver is the only organ in our body which regrows itself. A part of pancreas and a part of lung can also be donated when a person is alive. These organs can only be donated to the blood relatives according to the Transplantation of Human Organs Act 1994. Cadaver donation. Organs donated after death of a person is called cadaver donation. Cadaver is the term used for a dead body. So when a person donates their organs after death, it is called cadaver donation. Now, so many people die each day. Even if 1% of them decide to donate their organs, organ shortage could be wiped out to quite a certain extent, isn't it? But that is not happening because organs can be donated only in case of brain death. Tissues can be donated after cardiac death also, but organ donation is possible only in case of brain death. What is brain death? Brainstem death is an irreversible situation which results from a severe accidental head injury, brain hemorrhage, or stroke. In this situation, all areas of brain are damaged and no longer function, due to which a person cannot sustain his or her own life, but vital body functions may be maintained by an artificial support system. So when you see a brain dead person, you will find such a person in an ICU of a hospital connected to a ventilator. The person is actually dead, but his heart is still beating, the lungs are still breathing, chest is rising and falling, pulse is visible. So in this case, since the organs are still in working condition, they can be used for transplantation. They can be used to save somebody's life. The ventilator maintains circulation to vital organs long enough to facilitate organ donation. People who experience brain death can also donate tissues. When we talk about brain death, people often confuse brain death with coma, but coma and brain death are two different situations. Coma is a state of deep unconsciousness, while brain death is an irreversible condition. In coma, the brain still functions and the person is alive, while in case of brain death, the brain stops functioning completely and the person is dead. Coma happens because the brain is injured in some way, while brain death happens due to accidental head injury, hemorrhage, or stroke. In coma, there are chances of recovery. A person may or may not recover from coma. Therefore, organ donation is not possible in case of coma. While in case of brain death, there are no chances of recovery because it's an irreversible situation. Therefore, organ donation is possible in case of brain death. Now we saw which all organs can be donated and in which situation they can be donated. But when must these organs be removed? Organs must be removed as soon as possible after the determination of brain death, while circulation is being maintained artificially. So when a person dies of brain death, the body is being maintained artificially with the help of ventilator and drums. Therefore, it can collapse any time. So as soon as brain death is determined and consent is obtained from the family, organs should be removed as soon as possible. Similarly, organs should also be transplanted as soon as possible because organs cannot be preserved. We've heard about eye bank, blood bank, bone bank, skin bank, but there are no organ banks because organs cannot be preserved. If I talk about kidneys, after being retrieved from the body, they should be transplanted within 48 hours. Liver should be transplanted within 12 hours, and heart and lungs should be transplanted within 4 to 6 hours. So this is the time period within which these organs should be transplanted after being retrieved from the body. Eyes must be removed within 6 hours after death, and tissues may be removed within 12 to 24 hours. In the past, there have been instances where illegal trading of organs has taken place. Organs were bought and sold, poor people were exploited, their kidneys were removed without their knowledge. To stop that, to curb that, and to streamline the process of organ donation, government has passed a law which is called Transplantation of Human Organs Act, which was passed in 1994. This act provides for the regulation of removal, storage, and transplantation of human organs for therapeutic purposes and for the prevention of commercial dealings in human organs. There are 4 main points of this act. First, brain death is legalized as death. Brain death is legally considered as death, and therefore, organ donation is possible in case of brain death. Trading of organs is illegal and punishable offense. Anybody who's found buying or selling organs is punishable by law because it is illegal and a criminal offense. Living donation can be done only to blood relatives, that is mother, father, brother, sister, grandfather, grandmother, husband, wife, son, and daughter. Husband and wife are not blood relatives, but they are emotionally related. Therefore, living donation is possible amongst them. Now, suppose if I need a liver transplant and none of my family members are compatible to donate to me. The cadaver waiting time is 4 long years and the doctor says I cannot survive for that long. One of my friends is ready to donate a liver to me, her liver to me, but she is not my blood relative. So what do? Do I die waiting for an organ? So in such cases, the government has formed an authorization committee. This authorization committee verifies that there is no commercial transaction taking place between us. I am not paying anything in cash or kind to my friend, and she is purely donating her organ to me on humanitarian grounds. Only once this is verified and an approval is obtained from the authorization committee, living donation to unrelated people becomes possible. When it comes to organ donation, people have a lot of myths and misconceptions. The most common myth that we've heard is, if I donate my eyes in this birth, I'll be born blind in my next birth. I'm sure a lot of you must have heard about it, but I seriously hope none of you believes in it, because that is not true. What if I donate my heart? Will I be born without a heart in my next birth? Not possible, right? So it is just a myth, and it should not stop you from donating your organs. Once I sign up, I will not get appropriate medical care in case of an accident. The doctors who treat a patient make all the efforts to save the life of a patient. Once all the efforts have been exhausted, only then organ donation comes into the picture. Besides, the doctors who are treating a patient and the doctors who are involved in transplant are two separate teams. So it is not true that if you sign up for organ donation, your life will not be saved and your organs will be taken away. That is not the case. My religion does not permit it. There is no religion in this world which says no to saving lives. There is no religion in this world which says no to helping others. Therefore, there is no religion in this world which says no to organ donation. I am too old to donate. There is no age limit for organ donation. Recently, this year, in January, a 92-year-old gentleman from Delhi donated his organs. And last year, a baby as young as 40 days old had also donated her organs. So you can see there is no age limit for organ donation. Anybody and everybody can become an organ donor at any point in their life. Even if a person has prevailing medical conditions, like blood pressure or diabetes, they too can become eligible for organ donation. It all depends upon the medical condition at that point of time. If the doctor decides that your organs are good enough for donation, you can become an organ donor. Only in cases such as HIV or cancer, or in recent times corona, where the infection can be passed on to the recipient, in such cases organ donation is not possible. All my organs will be taken away even if I specify only one. That is also not true. Only those organs are retrieved for which the family has given consent. Not all organs are retrieved if you say yes for organ donation. My body will be disfigured post-death. Once the organs are retrieved from the body is surgically stitched and respectfully returned to the family. Even in case of eye donation, a proper bandage is placed over the eyes so that the body does not look disfigured. My family will be charged for organ donation. There are no charges for organ donation. The donor family only has to bear the cost of the procedure of the surgery that has been carried out prior to organ donation. Similarly, the recipient also gets the organ free of cost. The recipient only has to bear the cost of the transplant surgery. Organ donation is not chargeable. Neither are you charged for anything, nor do you get anything in return, because it is a donation that you're making, it is a gift that you're giving. My organs will go only to the rich people. Whenever a donor organ is available, it is allocated according to the priority and compatibility in the waiting list. So it is not true that rich people can pay more money and skip the waiting list and they'll get the organ before others. Donor organ is always allocated according to the priority and compatibility in the waiting list. There can't be too many people needing organs. As we saw in the first few slides, every 18 minutes a new name is added to the transplant waiting list. So there are lakhs and lakhs of people who need a transplant till date. How can you become a donor? After listening to this presentation, if you're motivated to pledge for organ donation, you can visit our website www.shatayu.org.in. A registration form is available on the website. To pledge for organ donation, you can fill up the form, post which we'll be giving you a donor card which looks like this. Carry your donor card along with you at all times, and most importantly, communicate and inform your family your wish to become an organ and tissue donor. Now, why is it important to inform your family? Is because according to the law of our country, family's consent is a must at the time of donation. So even if you are pledged for organ donation and the family refuses at that point of time, organ donation will not take place. Besides, if the family is aware in advance, it becomes easier for them to take a decision and honor your last wishes. Shatayu's role is to create awareness about organ donation, to coordinate the process of organ donation, and also facilitate organ donation. This is the entire process of organ and tissue donation in a nutshell. A general surgeon or neurosurgeon identifies a potential brain dead person in the ICU, post which the transplant coordinators are informed. These transplant coordinators do brief counseling of the bereaved family to get consent. Once the family gives consent for organ donation, it is documented. In medico-legal cases, that is in cases of accident, no objection certificate is taken from the police and the forensic department. After that, brain dead certification committee is formed. This committee conducts a series of tests to rule out any survival. These tests are conducted twice at an interval of 6 hours in case of an adult and 12 hours in case of a child. The donor is then certified brain dead and maintained on life support. The donor is then shifted to operation theatre for organ assessment. Simultaneously, the waitlist recipients, 5 for each donor organ, are called to submit their samples for match. The best match is then taken for transplant. This entire process takes minimum 24 to 48 hours. These are a few glimpses of the awareness activity that Shatayu has carried out over the past few years. Shatayu had organized an organ donation run, which was one of its kind in Gujarat. Around 4,000 people participated in the run. They not only participated in the run and supported this cause, but also came forward to pledge for organ donation. A few more pictures from the run. We also work in close contact with the hospitals, where we educate the hospital administrators, nursing staff, physicians, transplant surgeons, ICU staff, anesthetists, intensivists, etc. Because these are the people who are in close contact with potential brain dead people. If they are able to identify such potential donors, they can counsel the family and convert them into actual donors. We also put up our posters and brochures in the hospital so that more and more people are made aware about this life-saving cause. A few hospitals where we have conducted these programs and trained the nursing staff. Shatayu also launched India's first comic book on organ donation. We have distributed more than 1.5 lakh copies in various schools in Ahmedabad. We wanted to educate the school students in Ahmedabad about organ donation. So we developed a story and formed it into a comic book. Through this book, not only the school students were made aware, but even their parents came forward to pledge for organ donation. A few schools where we have conducted these programs. We also do activities in colleges so that more and more students are made aware about this cause. Shatayu was also presented an award for the best NGO for organ donation awareness by the then Chief Minister, Shri Vijayabhai Rupani, at the Gujarat Economic Forum Awards. Impact created by Shatayu. Shatayu has created an online registry to pledge for organ and tissue donation. We have trained more than 30 transplant coordinators by organizing for the first time in Gujarat a transplant coordinators workshop. We also work in close contact with the state government to pass favorable legislations to help the diseased organ donation program. Since past 12 years, we have been creating mass awareness in the entire state of Gujarat using visual media through rallies, exhibitions, talks, presentations in clubs, colleges, schools, corporates, etc. Shatayu has also secured a place in Limca Book of Records for the largest bike rally for organ donation awareness. More than 70,000 people have pledged for organ donation with us. There has also been a considerable increase in the number of eye donations due to awareness campaigns by Shatayu. More than 10 crore people have been reached through outreach and education. These are a few success stories of Shatayu. These are people who unfortunately lost their lives due to brain death, and their family made the brave decision of donating their organs. They saved around 9 lives by donating their kidneys, eyes, liver, lungs, pancreas, intestines, etc. With this, I end my presentation. I request all of you to follow us on our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For more information, you can also visit our website, www.shatayu.org.in. We also maintain a helpline number, which is functional 24/7, that is 079 66189 In future, if you need any more information, or if you know any brain dead person whose family is willing to donate their organs, you can call us on this number. Even though our organization is based in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, we are connected to all the transplant hospitals and NGOs across the country. So if somebody calls us from some other state as well, we may not be physically present over there, but we can connect them to the nearest transplant hospital. I would now request you, if you have questions, please ask.
Yes. Thank you so much, madam, for sharing, giving us your valuable time. This presentation will help our students as well as faculties a lot, which has bring the awareness regarding organ donation, right? So, does religion uh, means what kind of religion a person has affect this organ donation?
As I mentioned during the presentation, a lot of people have religious myths when it comes to organ donation, but we try and explain them that religion does not stop you from donating organs. Eventually, you are saving somebody's life, you are doing good for somebody, you are helping others. And all the religion in this world support helping others. So they do understand and then eventually agree for organ donation. People often think that if we donate our organs, we will not attain moksha because the body is not, complete. The organs are missing. But it is not the body that attains moksha, it is the soul that gets it, right? The body is eventually going to be burned or buried according to the religion. So if you can help others and save somebody's life, what better than that?
Yes, that's true. Yeah, but it is sometimes difficult, right, to explain the
Yes, it is very
patients and
difficult. What we do is we also conduct these awareness sessions with religious leaders because people follow them. If
yes,
these
exactly.
religious leaders preach and inform the people about the importance of organ donation, it becomes easier for the people to understand because they believe their religious leaders. So if some religious leaders believe in organ donation and they promote the cause, it has a wider reach.
Yes, that's true, absolutely true. Because nowadays the people more follow religious heads. Yes. So, according since you are working in this field past 10 years, so which organ has been donated maximum?
Uh, since we started, there were no heart transplant facilities in Gujarat. There was lung transplant facility we still don't have. So initially only kidney transplant facility was there, then liver started. So kidneys are the most donated organs because organ transplant is also an expensive procedure. Kidney transplant is relatively cheaper, but heart transplant, liver transplant is a very expensive procedure. Not everybody can afford it. And the chances of kidney failure are more as compared to other organs. So kidney is the most donated organ.
Okay. Eyes, the
Eyes, actually only the corneas are donated, so it is considered as a tissue. So we do not consider it as organ donation. Eye donation, of course, yes. If compared to kidneys and other organs, yes, eye donation is the maximum that is donated because a lot of awareness, as I said, has been created since past many years by the government also and by many organizations also. We have seen ads of Aishwarya Rai Bachchan and Amitabh Bachchan promoting eye donation in TV also. So a lot of people are aware that eye donation is possible, and the best part is eye donation is possible in any kind of death. while organ donation is possible only in case of brain death. And still, a lot of people are not aware of what brain death is. So, organ donation becomes very rare and difficult because people are not aware of what brain death is. And when, even the hospital staff may not explain them that this is brain death and the person is not going to recover. So, you should consider organ donation. So, that is also not happening. But eye donation, people are aware, and it can be done at home also. If a person dies, say, suppose, of any disease or old age or whatever at home, the eyes can be retrieved at home also. It is not a very cumbersome procedure. It does not take much time. But organ donation is a much longer procedure, and the circumstances are different under which the organ donation can take place.
Okay. What disqualifies us from being an organ donor? Are some of the rules which disqualify the person?
Only people with terminal illnesses like AIDS or cancer, or in recent times, if somebody has corona, an ongoing infection which can be passed on to another person, that will, in that cases, the organ donation will not be possible. But if somebody has lifestyle diseases like blood pressure or hypertension,
Or diabetes?
yeah, they still can become eligible. It depends upon the medical condition at that point of time. If the organs are in good working condition, they can be used for donation. Apart from that, old age is also age is also considered. But then, as I mentioned in the presentation, also a 92-year-old gentleman also become an organ donor. So it all depends upon the medical condition at that time. What I would say is we should take this positively because we do not know how we are going to die.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So the least we can do is at least take a pledge so that, God forbid, if we die of brain death, at least we'll be able to save somebody's life.
So we are right now alive. So we can register before also that we want to donate these things after our death, right?
Yes, because I would urge everybody to register now, to make a decision now, to think about it now. Because, as I said, we do not know how or when we are going to die. So if we wait that, no, okay, I'll decide about this when I turn 50 or say 60,
Yes.
right? So family may not be aware of your decision. If I talk about myself, I might meet with an accident today and die today itself. Right? So we should not delay. It is just a place that we are taking. It is not that if we fill the registration form, our organs will be taken away. It is just a pledge, right? So that whatever happens in future, we and our family is prepared to deal with it, and organs are not wasted.
Yes, that's true. It will be beneficial to another.
Yes. So we are not just saving one person's life, but the entire family is benefiting out of it.
Exactly. Yes,
When a person is suffering through end-stage organ failure, not only the person, but the entire family is suffering. So even if we give organ to one person, we are helping the entire family, not just one person.
Okay. So your institute is providing just awareness, or you are also providing the organs for transplantation organs?
We do not provide organs because we are not doctors, we are not hospital.
Yes.
Organs are always available. Like organs are available only when a brain dead donor comes into the hospital. We educate people, we create awareness, we ask people to register for organ donation. Besides that, we facilitate the process of organ donation. So if, say, a person is brain dead in a non-transplant hospital and they do not know where to go, they can call us on our helpline number. We can counsel the family and connect them to a nearest transplant hospital.
Okay.
So that the transplant team can reach the brain dead person and the organ retrieval process is carried out.
Okay. So we have got all the questions from my end, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining with us today.
Thank you.
Beneficial to our students is much more. And
Thank you so much.
I assure you that we take a pledge for this. Mr. Amal Patel, sir, the HOD of our department, the HOD of our institute, Professor Jatin Vaidya, sir, and Dr. Devanshu Patel, sir, the president of our university, for motivating and supporting us for conducting such webinar. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining with us.
Thank you for the wonderful opportunity. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Yes. Yes, have a good day, ma'am. Bye. Bye.